Hey guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to share with you my July wrap up, all the books that I read in the month of July. Is it just me, or did June and July like fly by? It's crazy that summer is already practically over, but here we are into August, and yeah, I can't believe it. But I read 5 books in July, so I'm going to talk about those with you today. The first book that I completed in the month of July was Anne of Avonlea by Ellen Montgomery. This is the second book in the Anne of Green Gables series, and I don't want to say much about the plot because I feel like I would give away some things for those of you out there that want to continue with the series. So I'm not going to say much except that Anne is a little older and a little wiser, and I really liked that part about the book, that you see Anne, maturing and becoming like her own person. And one of the things I love the most about this book and the other book also was that, there's always these little like nuggets of wisdom and kind of life lessons found in the pages. And there was one in particular that I marked that I wanted to read. For like a little bit of context, Anne is conversing with a new neighbor of hers, Mr. Harrison, who she has kind of befriended, and he's kind of this older, like kind of grouchy guy who just like speaks his mind all the time. And so they're having this conversation, and he says to her, because she's talking about how he always mentions the fact that she has red hair, like she doesn't know already, right? And he says, well, I'll try and not mention it again since you're so sensitive. You must excuse me, Anne. I've got a habit of being outspoken, and folks mustn't mind it. But they can't help minding it, and I don't think it's any help that it's your habit. What would you think of a person who went about sticking pins and needles into people and saying, "Excuse me, you mustn't mind it, it's just a habit I've got"? You'd think he was crazy, wouldn't you? So there's just like little nice life lesson there, kind of mixed into the pages. I really like that about these books. I liked the introduction of some of the newer characters. The only gripe I had with this book is that there are 2 young children introduced into the story, Davy and Dora, and I won't say anything more about them except that they are introduced, they are new characters, and for some reason there's a lot of Dora hate, I feel like, in this book. And I don't know why. She's a very sweet, timid, well-behaved child, yet Marilla and Anne tend to favor Davy, who is out of control. And though he is spirited and cute, they like him better, and they almost act like Dora is like annoying because she's well behaved, and I just don't understand that at all. Like, why hate on Dora? She's a good kid, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with her being a good kid and being well behaved. So I understand that Anne probably identifies with him a little more, and that's why she kind of has a soft spot for him, but why hate on Dora? So yes, I enjoyed this book a lot. I'm going to keep going with this series, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next up, I completed The Outsider by Stephen King, and I'm not going to say much about this book here because I did a full review of this book, and I will link that video either up in the cards or down below so you can check it out. But basically, I was pleasantly surprised by this book. I really enjoyed it. I loved the supernatural and the kind of crime drama coming together, and also the folklore elements that were in this book I thought were really good. So I recommend this one. Pick it up. Even if Stephen King has been kind of disappointing to you lately, you might find that this one's good. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. Next up, I listened to a book on audio, and that was The Perfect Mother by Amy Molloy. And this one I was like really looking forward to because it's like a thriller that deals with motherhood. And so of course, I being a mother of young kids, I was intrigued. And it's basically about a group of moms who are called the May Mothers, who they get together, I think it's like once a week or something like that. They just all get together. They were all pregnant at the same time, gave birth around the same time, so their kids are the same age. They get together, hang out, and it's kind of just like one of those like mommy groups. And one night they decide to go out without the kids and kind of have a mom's night out. And when they are out, one of the mothers, her child is kidnapped and goes missing. And so the book is about them trying to figure out what happened to this baby. And to me, the thriller aspect of the book got kind of lost because it became so much more about the secondary characters and their backstories. Because it kind of, in the book, the police and stuff are involved, but it more centers around these mothers, a couple of them kind of playing detective and trying to figure out what happened to this baby. So it centers around them and kind of their motives as to why they're so interested in this missing child. And yeah, so it was a little bit, it wasn't a bad book, but it was just a little bit weird. It wasn't what I was expecting in terms of the thriller aspect. And I did appreciate, though, the commentary on motherhood, the pressures of motherhood that a lot of, I'm sure most mothers feel, that I know I have felt, that you don't talk about because you don't want to seem like you are a bad mom or you're ungrateful or whatever. So I definitely identified with that part of the book. I thought it was good. The ending, where like everything was kind of revealed, was a bit random and a little bit far-fetched, in my opinion. But overall, I think it was entertaining. I enjoyed listening to it, and it was a pretty good thriller, but I mean, I've been reading a lot of thrillers lately, so maybe that's why, but this one just didn't quite hit the mark for me, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I completed in July was another audiobook, and that was Tin Man by Sarah Winman, and this is one that I was really excited about because I've been hearing buzz about it here on BookTube, and so many people are just raving about it, that they loved it, that, you know, it was 5 stars, it was this, and so I was like, well, I gotta read this book, and plus it was really short, so I'm like, why not? I'm gonna sneak it in and listen to the audiobook really quick. And it wasn't a 5-star book. No. It I think the hype let me down a little bit, maybe. I think the book deals with 2 boys who become friends in their childhood, and then it kind of develops into something more. And then they kind of go their separate ways. The one marries a woman, and it kind of is about just their relationship and how it changed through the years, and you kind of learn about that change and, well, the progression of their friendship and the change in that friendship through kind of flashbacks. And for me, I think the reason that the book wasn't as good as it might have been to someone else was because for me, I just didn't really connect with the characters. It's not a plot-driven story at all. It's very much character story, and so it's hard to get into a story like that when the characters aren't exactly speaking to you, and that's kind of what happened here with me. I thought the writing was good. No complaints, although it was a little bit flowery sometimes. I thought that it was pretty good, but it was just those characters. I don't even remember their names. I don't know. I almost actually thought about DNFing it because I just wasn't connecting to it. But then at some point it did kind of grab me, and I ended up finishing it. But, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it except that it was a little bit disappointing. And I've just felt disconnected. So it was a 3-star read for me. And it's like, I feel bad saying that because, like I said, so many people love this book. I just didn't. So it was a 3-star book. And then I finished off the month by reading The Book of Essie by Megan McLean Ware. This was my first book of the month pick ever. And I'm so glad that I read it right away. Like I told myself I was going to. And this book did not disappoint. It was, it's kind of a just contemporary fiction book about a young girl named Essie who is the youngest in this family, this very religious family, who are also reality TV stars. And Essie basically grew up on television. This show has been going on since before she was born. The best thing that I could probably compare it to is the Duggar family. That's kind of what her family's like, not as large. She's the youngest of, I believe it was 6 children. Whereas the Duggars, as you all know, have like 20 kids or whatever. And this story evolves around Essie and that she discovers that she is pregnant. And because her family is so religious, her father is a pastor, they're trying to figure out how to deal with this pregnancy. And this book, I really enjoyed it, but I also struggled with how to rate it because I was going back and forth between 3 stars and 4 stars, 3 stars and 4 stars, and I decided to go with a 3-star rating, even though I did enjoy the book and I thought the ending was incredibly satisfying, very good. The reason I gave it 3 stars as opposed to 4 was because I felt like this book dealt with a lot of heavy topics that I can't say too much about because it would be spoilery. Let's just say some heavy topics. And I felt like they were just kind of passed over very lightly in terms of how the characters dealt with these heavy topics and these horrible events. Because it is told through 3 perspectives. There's Essie, there's a reporter named Liberty, and then there is a young guy named Rourke. And they all kind of have these sad stories to tell, really. And I felt like the emotion was just lacking a little bit. And I felt I wanted more out of those characters. And so that's why, to me, it was more of a 3-star book. I would definitely recommend this book. I thought it was very good. I thought it had a lot to say about our society in terms of reality television and how we view people that are on TV like they're not human beings. Just that whole celebrity culture that we are so obsessed with right now. I think this book has a lot to say about that. And I really did enjoy it. It's just, like I said, it lacked that emotion that I think it should have had, and that's why it got a 3-star from me. Alright guys, so those are the books that I read in the month of July. Please let me know down below what you guys read, because I would love to hear how everybody's month went. Yeah, I am in the middle of Booktubeathon right now. It's going great. I'm having a good time, really trying to push myself to read more than I normally do, and it's going really well. So if you guys are also taking part in Booktubeathon, let me know how it's going down below. Let's have a chat about it. But yeah, other than that, that's all I have for today. So I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will talk to you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.